Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning. Everybody is wondering whether or not we're going to have a recession. The word recession is kind of popping up in the media again. And I want to break some of this down for you so you'll kind of know whether or not a recession is coming, how to prepare, and what people are seeing on the horizon as it pertains to investing and whatnot. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day. We do it under the B1 condition. B1 means we are Black first, and we do not apologize for loving our community. So I want to say what's up, everybody. I hope you're having a happy Monday. And let me ask you all this. When I say this word recession, how many of you believe that we have a recession coming sometime this year? Give me a yes if you think that a recession is coming soon. I'd be curious to know your thoughts on the pending recession. I will say this: I see a few of you saying yes, a few of you saying no. Well, let's say this. Okay, so the stock market has been doing really well this year. This has been a great year for investors. So if you've been investing consistently, I congratulate you. If you have not been investing consistently, I want to encourage you to consider investing because that's the only way in this country to really build wealth for the most part. But we've talked about that before. Now, in terms of recession, I wanted to give you guys some reports on some things I've been reading. And what I'll do also today is I will answer some of your questions, and I'll also stick around for a little bit. I'll give you a stock that I'm invested in that I just invested in yesterday. I gave it to the students. Those of you in the Black Business School, I sent this out to you, and I'll share this on this platform. So basically, when it comes to a recession, there were a couple of people that I heard from that I just kind of checked into their assessment of it. One was a guy named Jeremy Siegel, who's a really smart professor, I think, at the Wharton School. Another guy, forgot his name, Tom Lee from Fundstrat. And they kind of had different assessments about the recession. The thing about a pending recession is that a recession is to some extent to be expected. In capitalism, you have booms and busts, you have ups and downs, you have the yin and the yang. That's just part of the game. It's like basketball. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. But what Tom Lee mentioned, which I agree with, is that inflation, for the most part, is a beast that they've killed for pretty much. That basically inflation, which was the big worry for the last couple of years, has been hit pretty hard by the interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve, which means that inflation should be dropping, particularly when you look at areas like housing prices, energy prices, things like that. So that's a good thing, right? Inflation is down. But the thing about deflation, which is the opposite of inflation, or disinflation, which is basically a slowing rate of inflation, is that it can cause a recession. Okay. And so effectively, one side effect of the deflationary energy is that you might see a slowdown in economic downturn. Now, Jeremy Siegel mentioned some stuff that I thought was really interesting. He talked about some things that are probably going to slow the economy down, that are going to make things harder toward the end of the year. Now, if you're invested in stocks, your stock prices have pretty much already factored this in, just so you know. The stock market looks into the future. So if you think that the stock market's going to crash because there's a recession, that's not true. The stock market won't crash because there is a recession. The stock market crashes because there's a belief that a recession is around the corner. Do you follow what I mean? The stock market is anticipatory in terms of how it reacts. So to some extent, the stock market might be, for those of you that are investing regularly, I'm going to warn you, what might happen to you is that your friends will be hearing about the recession. They might lose their job. Their money might slow down, but they're going to get mad at you because your money might actually be going up, because the stock market at that point won't be looking at the recession. The stock market's going to be looking at the upturn. They're going to be looking at the boom that's going to occur in the future. So generally speaking, that's an interesting thing, right? It's like really how you should be thinking as an investor. As an investor, I'm rarely looking at the way things are right now. I'm looking at the way things are going to be what they're going to turn into in the future. You got to always be forward looking. Okay. So anyway, A couple of things Siegel mentioned in terms of whether or not there might be a recession is he talked about some slowing factors that are going to affect your bank account. The price of housing has gone up just unbelievably. The cost of a house before the pandemic was much lower than what it is right now. In fact, I think they got to a point where it was really hard to even find a house for less than $300,000. How many of y'all remember a time where $300,000 house meant you were living good, you were living large if you had a $300,000 house? Anybody remember those days? Those days are gone. I bought a property during the pandemic with my wife, two properties, one in Illinois, one in Atlanta. Both of those properties have shot up. We've gotten multiple offers on both properties. I get people texting me with offers to buy that house that I didn't even ask them to text me. I don't even know who these people are. I don't know what they're doing. But in Atlanta, especially, they are buying up everything. Corporations are trying to buy up all the houses. So if you got some property and you ain't got to sell, you might be smart to sit on that for a while. Don't, because if you sell now, it's going to be hard to replace that. So you got to be really careful with that, especially with interest rates being high. Mortgages are not the same. He also talked about unemployment. Unemployment is going to go up. The unemployment rate is pretty low right now. The labor market is going to get tighter, and you're going to start finding scenarios where people are going to have a harder time finding jobs. So just keep that in mind. That is going to occur. Also, he talked about student loans. How many of you heard that the student loan forbearance period is going to come to an end, and you're going to eventually have to pay student loans again? So he mentioned these as just three examples of areas where money's tighter in most households. Because even as the price of houses went up and the price of rent went up, real wages stayed flat. People weren't making more money to pay all this extra stuff. They were just going deeper in debt. So now that student loans are coming back, and student loans are a massive economic crisis that has affected millions of people, the student loans are going to basically be one of the factors that he believes is going to reduce the amount of discretionary spending. Discretionary spending is spending that you do with your extra money. So Jeremy Siegel believes, and I agree with him, his assessment's good. He's a smart guy. He believes that as discretionary spending drops, so will the economy, and you'll start to see, some of these earnings numbers kind of drop. You'll start to see some unemployment issues. You'll start to hear the media talking more about a recession. So a recession is on the way. It's nothing to panic about, though. It's not like I'm giving you bad news or doom and gloom. That's the other thing too, that people, the most salacious, most interesting financial conversations are the ones that Patrick Bet David might have, where he says the economy is coming to an end and the dollar's about to explode and everything's about to die. That's interesting to listen to, but that's not reality 99% of the time. Somebody asked me today, what about when the dollar collapses, Dr. Boyce? What are we going to do? I said, people have been predicting the collapse of the dollar for over 100 years. So what I prefer to talk about is not the big calamity around the corner or the big economic boogeyman. I prefer to talk about what's real and what's not real, right? So, how do you prepare for a recession? Well, you might want to start saving your money. If you've been investing, you want to keep on doing that. Investing, I was explaining to our 16-year-old who just got her first job. She works for me. Our kids work for me. So sometimes in my spare time, like this weekend, I was debating with all the guys who say that marrying a woman with kids is a waste of time and that's stupid and all that. And I kind of explained to them. I said, well, I married a woman with kids, and first of all, I love them. They're awesome. The little one, she won the national championship in dance this weekend, so I got a chance to cheer her on and be a dance dad. That was fun. And then the middle kid and the older child, they both work for me. So they actually help me, like they ship out my products. They help me with my podcast. They help me with all kinds of stuff. So I said, kids are actually beneficial if you raise them right. So don't let anybody make you think that kids are just a waste of time. Even other people's kids. I get it. I know how people feel and all that. But I had to jump in that debate because I said, I really think you might not just want to think about yourself, benefiting other people will ultimately benefit you. So again, forgive me for deviating from a pure financial topic, but this is about a law of what they call reciprocity. Reciprocity says that if I'm pouring into you, you're eventually going to pour into me. If I'm pouring into others, they're going to pour into me. So don't get into a selfish mindset where you say, screw the community. I don't care about these other kids. That ain't my child. I don't care. It always comes back to you, brother. I'm serious. It always comes back to you. So just keep that in mind. All right. Anyway, so enough about me and the kids. If you could do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. As I promised, I will give you that stock I was mentioning earlier that I made the investment in. Let me go dig it up because those of you that are in the Black Business School, I sent you what Dr. Boyce is buying. I sent the stuff out this week. If you want to get started and jump in the Black Business School, we have over 156,000 students around the world, and we've helped over 10 million of our people invest for the first time. So if you'd like to join, you can get started for free. We have programs for children, all kinds of stuff. You guys know my background. I'm a finance professor. I was at Syracuse University, and I decided to go create an HBCU, and that's what the Black Business School is. We are a Black institution, but we don't discriminate. So anybody who wants to understand economics at a high level or make your family better, we're good at that. So just go to my website, boycewatkins.com. I've got stuff there, or you can go directly to theblackbusinessschool.com. All right, so let me answer some of your questions, actually. Let's see here. Someone says, Doc, you're wearing one of your old shirts when you were heavier. You should donate those. Thank you. I probably should. I used to be chubby, Boyce. Now I'm not so chubby. And that's because I learned kind of the hard way that health is wealth. I used to think just about making money and working hard, but actually I learned that if you don't take care of your health, then it doesn't matter how much money you have, because you're wasting your time building wealth if you don't take care of your health, because then you'll end up giving all your money to the doctors anyway. So thank you. Shout out to my wife. That's another benefit of getting married, by the way, is that if you marry the right person, then they'll push you to make yourself better. So my wife got me running, and that actually caused me to lose weight. Does anybody have more any questions for me? I don't mind. I figured we chat a little bit today. Somebody says you look great. Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Insurance rates are doubling, says Flatbed Seas. Yes, they're going up much higher. I talked to a friend this morning who told me that because of the neighborhood she lives in, her auto insurance went up by $7,000 this year. So they're kind of scrambling to replace their auto insurance. Amazing job maintaining it. Also, are you talking about the weight and the look? Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I did this morning. Me and my wife got up at 5 a.m. and we went for a run. We had to drive back from Lake Geneva, where our daughter did her dance nationals. She's national champion, so she was doing all these aerials. She did 9 aerials in a row in the TikTok videos because she was so excited. But after that, we came home, and then we went for a run this morning. I lifted weights, so that's kind of like that early routine. And so that's advice for anybody. If you want to have energy throughout the day, get up and just make yourself do that workout. Get an accountability partner. It'll make your life better. It'll save you money in the long term. Let's see here. I can see that people are not buying. Volume is low. I can see that we are in a recession. I don't know if we're in a recession right now. I would say that the recession, no, whatever we're in right now, it's going to get a little bit worse as far as the economy goes. Feet Funkerson says, I'm still holding XRP. Yes, I am holding XRP also. I own stock in Coinbase. And if you look in there, you'll notice Coinbase, at least when I checked this morning, Coinbase had really just kind of taken off like a rocket. It's gone down a little bit since this morning, but Coinbase was doing really well. They're in the middle of a lawsuit with the SEC over whether or not their cryptos on their exchanges are legal or not. And that's going to be an interesting lawsuit. I still stand by this point. Bitcoin is going to be it. I think Bitcoin is going to kill it. I could be wrong. Sometimes you lay out expectations, you make predictions, and they're wrong, right? It's like a basketball game. I might, if I'm an expert on football and I predict the Cowboys are going to win against the Eagles, I could be wrong, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a good assessment. It just means things happen. Okay. So I want to make sure you understand that to buy Bitcoin, you can get on places like Coinbase, places like that. If you like to buy it, is Amazon still worth investing? Asked Lisa Parker. I think it is. I think Amazon is one of those companies that's just really good at making money. They're going to be really ahead on the AI boom. Their stock is down 1.5% today, but it's gone up about 28% in the last 3 months. So Amazon's been making major moves, but I think Amazon still has a lot of upside to go. Let's see here. Okay, so let me give you all that stock I was telling you all about. And before I do that, So I want to shout out the Black owned business that's helping sponsor this podcast. So bodynaturalnutrients.com slash SLS AA. That's on the screen. Check out their platform. They have a really great offering of products that help with things like inflammation and they have an advanced bone and joint formula that's plant-based with clinically proven ingredients that heals joints, reduces inflation, and regenerates cells. So you may want to take a look. Use the code B120 to get 20% off. So B120 to get 20% off. And it's a product from a brother named Michael Jones. So thank you, Michael, for helping us to build Black-owned media. If you would like to have us shout out your product on this platform, just go to drboycefinance.com. That's drboycefinance.com. Also, this podcast is on Spotify, so look up my name on Spotify. You can find it there. All right, so the stock that I like for this week that I bought shares in, and I'm actually going to buy some more shares literally while I'm on the phone, or not on the phone, but on this podcast with you guys, just to show you how easy it is to buy stock. I'm literally going to do it right now, but I'm going to buy stock in Franklin Covey. Franklin Covey, they make those little planners. And so for whatever reason, the analysts believe Franklin Covey is underpriced. The details are not always as important as the conclusion. And so I'm a believer that Franklin Covey is a stock that I'd like to own, not because I think Franklin Covey is the greatest company in the world or that I love their product. I'm going to invest in Franklin Covey because it appears to be an undervalued stock potentially and has a lot of upside to run. So I'm literally, the ticker symbol is FC, Frank Charlie, and I'm literally, the stock price is 34.94. I'm going to get on right now while I'm talking to you, and I'm going to buy me, let me see how much is in the account. Okay, let me see, I'm going to buy me about 50 shares, about $1,500 worth, and I'm going to pick a market price. I'm going to buy it at the market price, and now I'm going to preview my order on E-Trade, and boom, place the order. Okay, so one of the things I want to show you guys, the reason I did that while you were here is because I want you to stop being scared to go buy stock. I want you to stop thinking that it's this big, long, drawn out process that requires like 85 weeks of planning and all kinds of stress. Buying stock is something that you should do as naturally as going to the bathroom or having a conversation with your mother. It's not a big thing. And it has to be a habit. If you make it a habit, then you will be wealthy. It may take 10 years, but you will have more in just in less than a decade. You could have more money than most of your friends because most people don't have a lot of extra money because for whatever reason, there's this fear of investing, maybe because we weren't introduced to it as a little kid. So some of the ways I think you can get your kids out of that mental trap and the financial trap that comes with the mental trap. The mental trap precedes the financial trap. The psychological trap creates the financial trap. So if you're trapped in your mind, you're going to be trapped in your economics. You're going to be trapped in your body. You're going to be trapped in a lot of ways. So what I'm saying is I want you to get out of the trap, and I need you to get your kids out of the trap. So one thing that we have that is totally free, you can go to my website, boycewatkins.com, is I have something called the $5 a day investing plan. The $5 a day investing plan shows you how you can set your children up on the $5 a day plan when they're born, and or your grandchildren. Do it for your grandkids. If your kids are too old, do it for your grandbabies. And all you got to do is invest an average of $5 a day, which would be $35 a week. Set it on auto invest, just automatically buy. I'll even tell you what to buy. There's one S&P 500 stock I like by Vanguard. It's Victor Oscar VOO or SPY. Those are two you can buy. Buy it every week, buy at least $35 worth every week, and do not sell. That's their money, right? In 10 years, your child will have more liquid wealth than most people in this country. They literally have over 20 something $1,000. On average, it's about $29,000. Most people do not have $29,000 in the bank that they can go get in the case of an emergency. Most people don't have that. So even at the age of 10, your child's going to be ahead of almost all white people. Not all of them, but a lot of them, right? And then by the time they're 20, they've got 100,000. By the time they're 30, they got $250,000. By the time they're 40, they have $750,000. And that's if you do the bare minimum, which is $5 a day, which is what I said. I said it low because you can't buy a Popeye's chicken value meal for $5 a day. But if you really are ambitious and assertive, don't do $5 a day. If you can afford to do more than 5, do 10. If you can afford to do more than $10 a day, do 20. because then the numbers become 4x. You're doing 4x. They talk about 4x trading. 4x trading is nice and it's interesting and it's fun, but 4x trading does not make you as much money as 4x in your investment in the stock market. If you really want to do 4x, this is how Dr. Boyce does 4x. The way I do 4x is I 4x my effort, I 4x my energy, I 4x my investment, I 4x my seeds so I can 4x my harvest. Do you understand? So if you 4x that and you go $20 a day with your kid, they're not going to have $29,000 after 10 years. They're going to have 29 times 4. That's about $125,000. If you 4x your child, they're at $20 a day in the S&P 500, they're not going to have $100,000 in 20 years. They're going to have $400,000. Now, somebody says, sounds like Grant Cardone. No, this is not Grant Cardone stuff. Grant Cardone, I know what Grant Cardone does. Grant Cardone actually asked to come on this platform because he likes to recruit Black people for his programs and all that. No, this is not Grant Cardone-ish. This is proven scientific work. Grant Cardone does not have a PhD in finance. I do. So I want you to understand where I'm coming from. He's coming from a space of real estate. Maybe he's done well with real estate. I'm not disrespecting anything that he's done, but understand, you're not talking to a Grant Cardone. You're talking to a guy who teaches people like Grant Cardone. I taught PhDs. I taught MBAs. I taught Wall Street experts who went on to make millions of dollars. So this is basic scientific, mathematically proven stuff. This is not fancy like, oh, get in on this, flip this property and get it on this real estate deal. No, this is none of that. This is so simple that a baby monkey could do this. This is so simple that a 4-year-old can pull this off. And I know everybody in here is smarter than a 4-year-old. Okay. So literally, again, if you 4x it, instead of having $250,000 after 30 years, your child has almost $1 million. I mean, process that for a minute. Think about that. Imagine how cool it would have been if somebody had loved you enough 30 years ago, 40 years ago, to do something like that for you. The S&P 500 is the 500 largest, most profitable companies in America. The companies the richest companies in America. I'm talking about Apple, Microsoft, Google, Tesla. They print money. They run this country. They control this country more than the politicians do. So if I'm thinking about, okay, how am I going to succeed in America? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line my money up with the Elon Musks and all the. If I think the rich guys are cheating everybody else, if I think the rich guys are getting ahead, or I think the rich guys have an advantage, well, then put me in their car, put me in the rich guy's car, and then whatever advantages they get, I'm going to get too. That's all it is. These are publicly traded companies, people. These are wide open investments. Anybody can go buy stock in Tesla. Anybody can buy stock in GM. Anybody can buy stock in Apple. Anybody can buy stock in Ford. You live in the greatest capitalist economic engine in the history of this planet. It's not all bad. You just got to get on that boat a little bit. I'm not saying become a hardcore capitalist. I'm not saying that you should love money and worship money. I'm saying just get in the game. Stop believing that you're pushed out, that you're not invited. Who says you need to be invited? Invite yourself. Invite your kids. So this is it. That's it. This is my push. I know I talked about it more than I wanted to, but honestly, this is the game changer. You don't have to do the fancy stuff. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to spend $5,000 going to a Grant Cardone 10X conference in order to do something this basic and to make sure your grandchild is a millionaire or your children are doing well. If you don't have kids yet, that's even better. Start investing for your kids before they're even born. That gives them another 5-10 year head start. If you've ever run track, you would know, like, if you're running the 100-meter dash, the first 40 meters, you're accelerating, you're picking up speed. But if I wanted to beat somebody and they were to let me get a running start, I can beat almost anybody. Because if you get a running start, then by the time they catch up with you, you'll be past the finish line. So what I'm saying to you is give your kids a running start. Invest for them while they're young. Again, if you 4x that, $20 a day, people spend $20 a day on lunch. So just make it a habit, set it and forget it. David Bach refers to them as automatic millionaires. I want everybody in here to turn your child into an automatic millionaire. Again, it's totally free. Go to my website, boycewatkins.com. It's called the $5 a day investing plan. If you want your kids to also be financially intelligent, we have financial flashcards for kids. That's financialflashcards.com, or you can go to boycewatkins.com. I put it there too. Or we have workbooks. We have a Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program. We have all kinds of stuff if you want to do extra. But at the very least, please at least do the very basics. Okay. Give me a yes to the chat that you're going to do this so that I'll stop talking about it. But I'm going to bring it up again because I really need you to do something, because it freaks me out how you have so many parents that will go broke for their kids. They'll talk all day. They'll brag about how they'll go broke to get their kids into basketball camp, football camp, cheerleading camp, but won't actually do the things necessary to make their kids wealthy. Like, if you're going to go broke for your kids, why not get rich for your kids too? Because if you get rich for your kids, then you don't have to go broke. You can help them, and it won't be tragically painful. Because I spent the whole weekend with a bunch of dance moms, crazy, just insane dance moms that were like literally taking these competitions more seriously than they needed to be. I mean, they were yelling. I was filming our daughter, and this lady said, "You can't film. You can't film." That triggered me. I had to go woosah and take some deep breaths because I don't like being told what to do. I don't respond well to that. And so she had that Karen moment. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I almost ended up on the 6 o'clock news, like, because I was that upset with this lady. I'm like, who the hell are you yelling at? But anyway, you see those parents, that are very enthusiastic about doing things for their kids as it pertains to sports, will be equally enthusiastic about doing what is necessary for your kids as it pertains to life, as it pertains to money, as it pertains to making sure they're financially secure. Because if you don't forget what happens if you're not financially secure. Has anybody known the pain of struggling financially in your 20s or 30s? Has anybody ever known the pain of not being able to pay the rent? Does anybody know the stress of, of a poor young lady having to date some creepy old man because she can't pay the bills? I kid you not. I'm not joking. I go to LA. See, now I'm just talking about everything. Y'all know how I am. I like to bring real life to you as it pertains to money. But I spent a lot of time in LA because I make movies. We have a new movie coming out this summer called B1 the Movie. Rick Mathis is the director. BoyceWatkins.com. That's where I put all the information about all the projects we have going on. Anyway, I spent a lot of time in LA, and we do events in LA all the time. And I was really fascinated by LA because I saw so many super talented Black people who were literally working for pennies on the dollar. Like, who were literally working, like, who were busting their ass, super smart. In case you don't know, actors are really talented people. They have to memorize these big, long, crazy scripts. They have to train at a really high level. They have to really work extremely hard. I have so much respect for actors. Their talents are so amazing. Like, you guys could be, if you're an actor or an actress, y'all could be good at a lot of things. You just, for whatever reason, people convince you to go to LA where the opportunities are somewhat scarce. So anyway, I remember there was an actress that I saw who was a beautiful, drop dead gorgeous, really talented Black woman who happened to have a master's degree in something, but she wanted to be an actress and she wasn't getting the roles that she deserved. So let me tell you what she did. She got on a YouTube channel and she said, I'm not going to say her name because I want to embarrass her. She literally said, but she said this publicly, so I'm going to repeat it because I think there's a lesson here because I got daughters. She said that she didn't have enough money and she slept with she went on a website like sugardaddies.com, something like that. And she said she needed a laptop. So she met an old man. She said this, she told this story. I couldn't believe she was telling everybody this. She met an old man that she said, I slept with him so he would buy me a laptop. And I felt so sad for her because I said, is that the value of your vagina? Like human beings come out of that. Like that's a place that could be defined as being infinitely valuable. If you value life at an infinite level, the female body is the only thing capable of producing life. Right? I don't care how trans I want it to be. I can't make a baby. So the Black woman's womb, in my view, should be something money can't buy. It just should be. Of course, we don't live in that world. Like Cardi B tells you that your WAP should be $1.95 or whatever, and people fall into that nonsense. But I'm sitting there thinking about the divinity of it all, and I'm thinking about it from a spiritual standpoint. And I just think that any person that gets access to that part of a woman should earn his right to be there, right? Not just be able to like buy you a laptop, right? And that's what she said. So here's what I was thinking about, right? So as a father, I'm sitting there looking at my little beautiful daughters, our girls. I'm their bonus dad, by the way. They have a biological father. He's a great guy. We protect the girls together. We protect these kids together. So they got double daddy duty, and we both love doing this. And I'm looking at how gorgeous they are because their mama's gorgeous, so they're gonna be gorgeous too. They are gorgeous. And I'm sitting there thinking, I do not want her to be up in LA struggling for acting gigs, having to sell her body to some creepy old nasty ass man just so she can get a laptop. Lord Jesus. I don't think anybody wants that for our kids. So the thing about it to me is that if you want to protect your kids from those desperately horrible situations, or your son going out here putting his life on the line because he's trying to make a quick dollar because he don't know how to make the slow dollars. If you want to protect your kids from those situations, you have to prepare in advance. Every child that's out here that becomes an adult who isn't prepared economically, they're not prepared because somebody didn't get them ready. Somebody didn't give them what they needed. It's like they sent them out into the cold without a coat on. So now they got to go banging door to door, begging and doing anything, humiliating themselves just to get a coat because you put them outside in the cold. So what I'm saying to you is, I'm begging you to do basic investing for your child. Again, the $5 a day plan, it is free. It is right there on my website, boycewatkins.com. Do that for your child and be consistent. Set autopilot. Don't even think about it. Make it unconscious. Just set it and forget it. Don't even think about it. Don't even touch that money. Right? Pay it as consistently as you pay the rent. Pay it as consistently as you've been paying that car note. Pay it as consistently as you've been paying your bill to get your hair done every week. Be as consistent when it comes to preparing for the future as you have been consistent with making other people rich. Because mark my words, when you are consistently paying your rent every month, you're making your landlord rich. You're buying him a house. You're committed to buying him a house. If you are consistently paying your car note, you're consistently making the car dealer rich. They're sending their kids to college with that money. So what I'm saying to you is, I need you to be as consistent with yourself as you are with them. I need you to be as consistent with your kids as you are for other people. Because why? Well, these are your kids. These are your grandkids. What better what better reason do we have to adjust our behavior than for the betterment of our children? So that's my talk on that. That's my thought. I hope that helped you to understand and to see what I'm seeing. And and I hope that the lady who sold her body for a laptop doesn't see this video, because she's gonna think I'm talking bad about it. I'm not talking bad about it. I'm just feeling bad. I'm old school. I'm sitting there thinking, where was your daddy at? Can't you call your daddy and get a laptop? Why you gotta be laying down with a man who's probably full of diseases? He might be a killer. You're doing all this stuff for a laptop. Come on, man. That's insanity. Absolute insanity. So get away from the insanity. Go to a space that makes sense for you. Just basic things, real easy. Just stick with me. I think I can help you with this. Okay. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let's shut down the conversation. I'm gonna answer a couple more questions, then we'll bounce out of here. By the way, All Black National Convention happens October 20th in Atlanta. That is our annual convention. I think we're on year 8 this year. I got to count again, either year 8 or year 9. Anyway, we've got millionaires and experts and all different kinds of people in the community that are good at what they do. Literally, the list is so long I can't even remember everybody that's there. But I'm talking about health experts, psychology experts, business experts, of course, all real estate experts, all that coming together for a big Black family reunion. It's going to be in Atlanta at the Marriott Marquis. If you want to learn more, go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com, or you can go to boycewatkins.com. I'll put the information on my website. And also, my new book is an Amazon bestseller. It's called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. Feel free to go grab a copy of that. All right, so a couple more questions we can answer is, what current investments would you suggest for us as adults? Well, I mentioned a couple, Franklin Covey. Also, I talked about Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's going to do well. Yeah, so those are a couple that come to mind right now. Let's see here. Thank you, Dr. Boyce, for always educating and inspiring us. Oh, you're welcome, Dupree Wade. I'm very happy that you heard the message, and I appreciate you being receptive to that. Let's see, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. I own a little bit of Litecoin. I didn't sell it, but I'm really focusing heavily on Bitcoin. I feel like Bitcoin is kind of going to be the big winner. It almost reminds me of, like, when you ever see where you have like the SEC coming into crypto. It reminds me of like when you would have like these different drug cartels, and one of them starts working with the FBI or something, right? And they become informants or something, right? So then they get all this privileged information from the FBI that the other drug cartels don't have. So they then go and in exchange for that, they're giving information on their enemies. They're setting their enemies up to get arrested and robbed, right? So basically, I'm the drug cartel. If I'm working with the feds, I go to the feds and say, hey, they're bringing in a big shipment of dope over there, so you got to go get them. And then they go down and they take down my enemy. So then I'm the last one standing, right? So effectively, I think Bitcoin is in that position. I think that once the SEC gets done cleaning up crypto and getting rid of a lot of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, it's almost like a police raid. Bitcoin is going to be the last one standing. I expect that this is going to lead to a dramatic increase in the price of Bitcoin. Also, you got to watch what the big players are doing. What's the smart money doing? The smart money is digging into Bitcoin. BlackRock and all these other companies. BlackRock controls $9 trillion worth of assets. You don't get that much money by being stupid. They're digging in. They're creating a Bitcoin spot Bitcoin ETF. Other companies are copying them. I think this is going to be a positive catalyst for the price of Bitcoin. All right, so let's see here. RJ McKenzie, thank you for your kind words. Lisa Parker, I'm sorry. Lisa Parker says you're a great teacher. Thank you so much for saying that, sister. I appreciate that. Sean, will gold go up or down? Well, I guess if there's a recession, you would expect that to increase the price of gold. If there's any sort of financial instability, which could be an issue, there is kind of what they would call a liquidity challenge with the banks. If that was to become an issue, then that would increase the price of gold. So gold might be something you may want to look into if you want to protect the money that you have. Gold doesn't make you rich, but gold will keep you rich. Why do blacks think being an informant to hurt other blacks is a flex? Those informants need to lose their tongues. Ooh, okay. All right, Joan. Well, I mean, don't be an informant because Joan gonna come get you. All right, RJ McKenzie, Dr. Boyce, I'm in my early 20s. What's the first thing I should do to get big Bitcoin? To get Bitcoin, BIG. He wants to get Biggie coin. Baby. All right, so if you want to get big coins, RJ, first thing I would do is learn how to start a business. Get together with your friends and come up with an idea and find at least one product you can sell and find a customer that will buy it and or maybe take a class on entrepreneurship. That's the best move any young person can make if they want to actually make like significant money. You don't make big money usually from a job. A job gives you enough money to sustain you. Um, Big money usually comes from selling a product to a customer. So if I was to be the king of the earth for a day and I could literally control the educational process for every black child in America, what I would teach them is in the school of Boyce. And once I get the money, we're gonna have this school. I would teach them reading so they can consume information, writing I would have them writing every day so they can communicate their ideas, math so that they can count and count your money. You can't make money if you can't count it. And then I would teach them in business. They would learn real estate investing, stock market investing, and entrepreneurship. They would just know the basics of starting a business. Then I would give them some black history so they can have some self-esteem and pride and know who they are. And then also some critical thinking skills so you can know how to navigate things like racism or white supremacy or any obstacles you run into or any problems you have to solve as a husband, father, mother, wife, etc. So yeah, that's what I would do. If you want to make Bitcoin, learn how to start a business and also start investing consistently with that money that you make from the business. Don't be crazy like your friends and waste your money. Somebody asked, is C3.ai still a good investment? Well, I'm invested in it. I sell options on it. And it's down a little bit today. It's down to $32. It was up. Let's see, it's down 2% today. And so, but this month, I think this month it looks like it's gone down by 11% this month. It's gone up 30% the last 3 months. So C3.ai is a nice stock to generate cash flow from selling the call options, and that's what I do. That's what I use that stock for. And so, by the way, if you want to dig into that program where we do that, I have a training on my website called "How to Make Money Without Working." So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com. There's a free training there. It's called "How to Make Money Without Working." Let's see here. Baba looks interesting at these levels. What do you think? Says Rodney. I like Alibaba. It's a good company. They make good money. If the prices have been dropping, then that might be worth looking into. I think China is a little bit risky though, because China they just do the weird things with their economy. So you got to be really careful. Pete Funkerson says, Dr. Boyce, he meant to say Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin. Oh, I thought he was saying big coin, like BIG, like I want to make big coin. Bitcoin, yeah, to buy Bitcoin, you can go on a lot of apps. You can even buy Bitcoin on Robinhood. You can buy it on Coinbase. You can buy it on, I buy some on Bittrex, stuff like that. Let's see here. All All right. One more question, then we're done. Let's see here. V Small says, "What's a good black bank for my direct deposits?" I think I know the one that Killer Mike was working with. I don't know if that's a black owned bank exactly. I think it might be. I think it's Greenwood or something like that. I think they have a digital infrastructure. I got to look it up. Killer Mike is a friend of mine, and I should know these things. But that might be something worth looking into. A lot of black owned banks, I'm finding from talking to Dr. Claude Anderson, a lot of black owned banks really aren't what they appear to be. They're really like, like that One United, that seems like a nice bank. I know they did a good job with some of their ad campaigns, so that might be worth looking into. Thank you, Ishmael, for laying that out. All right. Okay. So one more question. What ETFs do you heavily invest in your portfolio? Oh gosh, there's like 50 or something. I mean, I'm investing in a lot of ETFs. Um, the two favorites that I like are SPY and VOO. And I don't know if VOO is a mutual fund or an ETF. They're kind of similar. So I would you could start there. So if you're trying to invest and you're confused, just start with Victor Oscar Oscar VOO or SPY, and that will give you exposure to the best companies in America. So investing a lot of times isn't about understanding every single thing. It's about hitching your ride onto the fastest wagon. So it's like if I want to drive a car, I don't really need to know how gasoline powers the engine. I don't need to know if it's a V8 or a V6. I don't need to know how to design and engineer a car. I don't need to know the aerodynamics behind vehicle development. I don't need to know any of that. In fact, I may not even need to know how to drive. I just got to get in the car with the person who's going to the destination I want to go to. So think about investing the same way. You ain't got to learn how to put the car together. You ain't got to learn how to design the car. You don't have to know how to drive. Just get in the car. Just get in the car. And with a mutual fund, that's what you're doing. You're just getting in the car. You buy Amazon, you're just getting in the car. You're like, I don't know what Amazon's doing, but they're making money at it. So I'm just going to get in the car. So one thing you don't want to do is catch yourself walking when other people are riding. They don't call it investment vehicles for no reason. They call it a vehicle because it moves you from point A to point B. What is your vehicle, black people? That's the question I ask you, and I want you to contemplate this. This is my lesson for today. What is your vehicle? If you have no vehicle, then get you a vehicle. Just get in the car. Got it? We good? We on the same page? Give me a yes. We're on the same page so I can go and bounce up out of here. I'm about to go to the Black Financial Channel. If you want to hop over there, I'm going to actually be on that channel a little bit. I'm going to talk to a sister named Asia Kuykendall, who has something called quantum wealth theory. And she's super smart. And she's a smart young lady I met at a conference. And I said, "You're so smart. I want you to come on my platform because I would like to hear more about your theory." So the Black Financial Channel, theblackfinancialchannel.com is a place you can go if you want to go check out this quantum wealth theory conversation. Also, last but not least, feel free to go to boycewatkins.com. We have financial flashcards for kids, our Black Business School for children. You can also join us for our stock options investing class meeting that we're actually having tonight. So feel free to go to my website and you can take a look at all that stuff. And my new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. Last but not least, I will be in Seattle July 8th. So if you want to fly to Seattle or you live near the area, feel free to come to the event July 8th. I'm going to do a 4-hour deep dive training on my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. So take care, guys. Have a good day. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. I'll check in with you a little bit later. Peace.